Dr. Azzopardi. We're joined now by Dr. Andrew Borg Cardona, who was a personal friend of Daphne Caruana Galizia. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello. I'm afraid the sound is very bad. Are you hearing me okay?
We're hearing you okay. Perhaps
Okay,
it could be a bit louder.
I can hear you. It's okay.
Perhaps it could be a bit louder. I thank you very much. I wished to address Electrogas with you and the shareholding of Electrogas. Many viewers have sent in questions and would like an explanation about this.
Well, basically, without going into the numbers, because numbers are always boring and I always get them wrong anyway, Electrogas seems to have been owned by three of the major entrepreneurial families in Malta. The Gazans, the Trapani Galias, they're also a noble family. They're the people who would describe as old money, I suppose. And the Fenechs, who seem to have had sort of two hands in the pot here. Jürgen Fenech directly through his own personal involvement, and the Fenech Group itself. Now the Fenech Group itself has divested itself.
We're losing you there,
Andrew.
Yes.
Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, you can carry on.
Okay, fine. They're keeping, for what I can make out, a very, very low profile. Mm-hmm. If I were being publicly associated with the accused in a major murder trial, I was going to say, in the most serious murder trial we've had in Malta for many decades, I'd be very embarrassed. And in fact, the two big families are keeping themselves extremely low profile, except if you happen to drive past where the old MFSA used to be, where you see a very high profile building going up, which is the Gazan family, and I'm not sure who else is involved in that. So, as I said, basically Electrogas was this triumvirate, this three of the richest, of the most enterprising families in Malta, let's say in bed together, if I'm not being sarcastic, in a very very high profile, very expensive for the country, the way things have turned out, enterprise, which means they must have been printing money, as the old saying goes.
Because that was one of the stories that Daphne uncovered, and in fact, the Electrogas shareholding appears on the Shift News. So we are working today from information on the public domain.
Well, in fact, when she was assassinated, I believe Daphne hadn't actually brought the whole story out yet.
No.
There are those who say, I mean, it's a fair comment on the circumstances, that this may have been a preemptive strike. Let's keep her away. I'm not saying that the Gazans were involved or the others, but from the way Melvin Thoma is testifying in court and what he says was said to him by Jürgen Fenech, it would seem that a lot of the worry on the part of whoever wanted Daphne silenced came because of this, the expose of Electrogas that was on the way. Because she hadn't actually got very far when they blew her to bits. God rest her.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for your time. Very short today, but we'll join you again very soon. To conclude, we're concluding. The time passes very quickly. We could fill a whole week, I think, with programs, or more, I think. Therese?
I think this is really what is very confusing for members of the public. I have to say, it's also very tiring for us, because with every sitting, there's a mountain of new information that everyone needs to catch up with. But it is that type of information which is not simply related to the assassination. It is information which exposes the criminal network, which included not just persons in the criminal world, but also politicians and private businessmen and people holding public office. And this I find, at least I speak just from my perspective now, this I find is what is most tiring and what is most taxing about this tragedy. Realizing that this is not just a tragedy of the assassination of a mother and a wife and a daughter, but also a national tragedy because it has exposed so much that is wrong about the governance in this country.
Thank you very much.
And what is even more tiring, and I'll close with this, is that no matter how much of this information comes out in the public domain, our own Prime Minister takes no action whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think this is what is most taxing for most of our viewers. With everything that is being said, political responsibility, if not legal responsibility, should have been carried way back. And yet, despite the change of a Prime Minister, we have seen no political responsibility shouldered.
Thank you very much, Therese. Very briefly, Dr. Azzopardi, because we've come to...
Very briefly, because I think there's so much that one can say and we can speak for hours on end. Two main points. Number one, never give up. My message, my humble message is for people of goodwill not to give up and to genuinely believe that the truth will come out. And on our side, together with the family, together with civil society, together with the opposition, but with all people of goodwill in this country, we will make sure that the full truth comes out. And when the full truth comes out, it's not just for the record, but in order to live in a better country, because we do not want to live in a country where the few, corrupt, get rich at the expense of the majority of workers, of pensioners, of all persons of all walks of life, because corruption kills. It kills financially, but it kills physically as well, because as we have seen, Daphne gave her life because of the corruption she was investigating.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the case continues. You can follow it in the press, on Net News. If you have any comments, any queries, do send them in to Net Television anonymously if you wish, via my blog. I will be again in a few weeks with Dr. Azzopardi and Dr. Comodini Cachia to have a follow-up. The important thing is that we all want to know who and why. And thank you for joining.